Well, hi there, I'm your friend for life, Dave Dugan, and you are watching ElwoodIndiana.org.
We're here today with Rick Garrett. Thank you for talking with me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
On behalf of Elwood and everyone at the Opera House, I want to say thank you. The show was excellent.
We had a great time.
What are some things that brought you to do your show here at the Opera House?
Well, I grew up in a small town, a little smaller than Elwood actually, and I found out that since I've been an entertainer for almost 40 years, that small towns often don't get quality entertainment. And a lot of people in small towns are older and don't want to drive to Indianapolis or Fort Wayne or Cincinnati to see a good show, so we decided to start bringing the shows to them.
What other small towns are you guys scheduled to appear in?
We're going to be in Columbus, Indiana, Huntington, Indiana, Muncie, Indiana, Metamora, Indiana, which is one of my favorite small towns. It's a town of only 160 people, but they have great turnouts for their shows down there. I think I already mentioned Edinburgh, and Danville, Indiana.
How old were you when you decided you wanted to do this as a profession?
Actually, I've only been doing it full time for about 6 years now. I spent 30 years as a firefighter paramedic, and so I would entertain on my days off and on weekends and so on. I always had a thought to do this full time, so once I retired from the fire service, I started doing it full time.
Hello, Elwood. How you doing tonight? If you're ready to laugh, say hi, Rick. Hi, Rick. Oh, that was outstanding. We're going to have great fun tonight, I can tell already. I like my women like I like my fast food. Fast, cheap, and keep me up all night. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. It is true, I am the love child of Kenny Rogers and B. Arthur. I'm like a gambling, chicken roasting golden girl, that's what I am. It's good to be in Elwood tonight. Holly is my fiance. We came up into town early. I wanted to come take a tour of Elwood and see all the town has to offer. Turns out I didn't need the entire 7 minutes to do that, but no, it's a beautiful little town. We really have had a great evening here. We went down to El Chile Poblano and had dinner. Folks down there just treated us like kings and queens, just a wonderful meal. And loved looking at all the old houses, and it's a beautifully clean town. And like all small towns, everybody here is just so polite, and I appreciate that. And if us Hoosiers have one fault, it's that we are too polite. I was almost late getting to town because I got to a four-way stop, and we took a half hour to try to decide who could go first. No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. No, please, you go ahead. Well, I don't get up to tip to Elwood very often. Once in a while, but not very often. I used to come up here a lot, but my ex-wife has moved up here, so I try to stay away. You might recognize her. She walked into the back of the room. She wears a lot of red, carries a pitchfork, got a couple of horns, cloven hooves, smells like sulfur. I met her when I was living in the South and she came down to Georgia. That's right, ma'am, Charlie Daniels. Thank you for explaining it to him. We appreciate that so much. By the way, the mayor's in the house tonight. Mr. Mayor, thank you for coming out. We appreciate that. It does my heart good to see the city officials supporting what's going on in the town. That's the mark of a good city official in my book, so thank you very much for coming out. So anyway, it's kind of a sad story. We lived in Indianapolis when we got divorced, and she left me for the owner of the local donut shop. And I should have seen the signs coming. She was always coming home with a glazed look in her eyes. Every time I wanted to get frisky, she had a yeast infection. I don't know how she could have been any crueler. So I found myself divorced when I was 50 years old. And I swore I wasn't going to be one of those guys that was going through a midlife crisis and date a girl much younger than myself. Well, you've already met Miss Holly. You can tell she's 15 years younger than I. And after being with her for a few years, I can tell you exactly why guys my age like to date girls her age. You know what I mean, fellas? Yeah, she drives after dark. I have a way to get home tonight. I'm excited about that. Oh gosh, it's been a really interesting. I actually have been ill all week. Thursday I was sick. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I wasn't quite sure what was going on, but I was in a lot of pain. And Thursday I actually passed a kidney stone, which was about the most pain I've been in, except for watching Purdue basketball this year. That has been sad, but anyway. So it's been a really interesting last few months for me. In addition to passing a kidney stone, a few months ago I found out that I was diabetic and had to start living life as a diabetic, and that's been really interesting. But the best part about being a diabetic is that I get to shoot up in public, and nobody can say anything to me about it. Best thing to do when you take your insulin shot and somebody's watching is just start going like this. They love that. Doctor told me when I became a diabetic, the first thing I needed to do was to lose weight, so I went to Weight Watchers. And the first thing they told me at my first meeting is you can lose 6 inches in a month. Like I want to be stuck with 5 inches. Insert uncomfortable laughter right there, folks. That's right. So anyway, it is interesting getting older. I do a lot of things different as I get older. I do pick my doctors differently. I pick my doctors based only on the size of their fingers. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I haven't been myself lately. I've been a little depressed because Monday I went out to get my mail and there was that piece of mail that told me my life as I know it has ended. My very first AARP card. So I went to Walmart and got some shoes with Velcro on them. Went to Denny's for dinner at 3:30 in the afternoon. Oh, somebody likes that back there. Drove all the way to Elwood tonight at 30 miles an hour on the highway with my left turn signal on. People really, really like that. Oh gosh, football season just ended. Y'all Colts fans up here? It was a great year for the Colts. I love football. I actually played football in high school and college. And now I'm old, fat, and white, and I gave up football for playing fantasy football, which is what us old, fat, out-of-shape guys do. Got an email from a friend of mine this week inviting me to join his fantasy fishing league, which got me to thinking, just how out of shape do you have to be to give up real fishing for fantasy fishing? Boy, I'd like to go fishing, but I just don't have this stamina anymore. Gotta bait your hook and throw it all the way out there. This is good to see. You can tell this is not a church service because there's actually some people sitting in the front row. That's really cool. I was raised a Baptist. Any Baptists in the house? 1, 2. See, I know that there are more than that Baptists in the house, but you're not allowed to admit you came to a comedy show. I can say that. It's true. I did grow up a Baptist. Actually, went to a Baptist college and Baptist seminary and spent 30 years in the ministry, and it was a very rewarding life for me. One of the things that Baptists never do, now I grew up the old independent fundamental Baptist, and one of the things we never did was we didn't dance. We weren't allowed to dance. Well, in Indianapolis, we have this 1940s style swing dance where everybody dresses up in their zoot suits and their saddle shoes and dances to the big band music. And Holly said she wanted to go to this swing dance, and I said I'd love to go with you. And I'd never been to a dance before. I didn't know where to go, so I went to Google and looked up the Indianapolis Swingers Club. Turns out that was not the place I wanted to be. Finally found the dance club. Turns out it didn't matter. I'm only good for about a minute either way, so, you know, it doesn't really matter. One of the things I really enjoy doing is I enjoy camping. Anybody like to camp? Springtime is coming. Any campers in the house? True story, we were camping at Brown County State Park last year, and got up in the morning and was headed to the shower house. And I looked, coming up the sidewalk towards me, this is an absolute true story. Coming up the sidewalk towards me was this great big fella. He was probably about 6'5" and about 300 pounds. He had big boots on and leather pants with chains hanging off of them and a big vest with a Harley thing on the back, no shirt, and tattooed across his chest were the words, "Born to Kill." And true story, and he's walking right towards me, and I didn't know what to do. And as he walked towards me, all of a sudden he started going, "Help! Help! Help!" And I said, "What's the matter, sir?" And he goes, "A toad! A toad! A toad!" There's no joke there. That's just a story I love telling because it's so true. It's he just couldn't get over a toad being in his path. Well, let's see what else I want to talk about tonight. Oh, I feel kind of stupid because I just went out and paid $3 for a bottle of Smart Water. A few people got that. In addition to being diabetic, I did get some other news from the doctor. I'm suffering from reverse anorexia. Battling that just as much as I can. The Opera House is a beautiful place. I've never been in here before, and I walked in this evening to set the sound system, and I was stunned at how beautiful this building is. Y'all have a real treasure here in Elwood, and I really mean that sincerely. Before I came up, I did some search on the internet, and you may not know, but I found out that the Elwood Opera House is listed as one of the 10 most haunted buildings in the Midwest. Did y'all know that? Really interesting stuff. So I'm looking for the ghost of the fat lady singing. Because the opera ain't over till the fat lady sings. Well, we're going to get another comedian out here, and you're going to really enjoy him, but I'm going to tell you another true story about my nephew. My nephew turned 16, and I wanted to do something very, very special for him. So I took him to the Great Smoky Mountains on the 7-day backpacking hiking trip. We were having a great time, and 3 days into the trip, we rounded a corner in the trail, and I looked up at the tree in front of me, and about 9 feet up in this tree was a little bitty baby bear. And it was about the cutest thing I'd ever seen in my life. So I reached into my backpack, and I pulled my camera out, and I started taking pictures of this little baby bear, and I kind of sensed something behind me, and I turn around, and what do you think is behind me? Mama bear. I'm in the mountains between baby bear and mama bear was not happy with me. Now, we read the survival books before we took this trip, and they tell you that if you get stuck between a bear and her cub, you do one of two things. You stand up real straight and scream and yell, or you fall over and play dead. But I'm here to tell you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, if you just stand there and poop yourself uncontrollably, you do not have to worry about a bear attack. Anybody here celebrating anything? Birthdays, anniversaries? Newborn babies? What? What did she say? I thought she said sex. Oh, she did. This is the senior comedy tour. Once a quarter, ma'am. Once a quarter. No birthdays or anniversaries in the house? Well, that's okay. Hey, I'll tell you a little story, and then we'll get our headliner out here tonight. Otto talked about being a dog person, and I'm kind of the opposite. I'm a cat person. Any other cat people in here? I really, really love my cats. I have 3 cats, Sophie, Midnight, and CAT. That's true. I named my cat CAT because I'm just that creative. And they're great cats. Here a while back, I decided to go to a cat show. And I'd never been to a cat show before, and it was a great experience until I got to wandering around and looking around and found out that I was the only straight guy in the entire building. And all day long, I kept getting hit on by these guys who thought because I was at a cat show that I was one of them. And it's true, you know, I am kind of crazy about my cats, but I'm not gay, okay? But I am crazy about my cats. You know, I do post pictures of my cats on Facebook. I do, but not every day. Only the days of doing something fabulous. I keep pictures of my cats in my wallet, but they're not dressed up. Only on Easter, Halloween, Christmas, 4th of July. They're just so cute. One of the things that I do, I've done this for a long time, Holly and I are both big animal rights advocates, and we're very involved in some animal charities. Once a week I go to we live in Hamilton County, and once a week I go to the Hamilton County Humane Society, and I work with the cats. I get them ready for adoption, and I assist with vaccinations and paperwork and grooming and so on. And I was there a couple of weeks ago, and I was working with the cats, and this fella came in and started talking to me and was telling me about his cat he had had for 13 years that had recently passed away, and I thought he was there wanting to adopt a cat, and he was there looking for, how do I say this, a new life partner. And I said, "I'm sorry, sir, I'm straight," and he gave me the best and the worst pickup line I've ever heard in my life. He looked me right in the eye and said, "So is spaghetti until you heat it up." Absolute true story.
What brought you guys to Elwood to do your show?
Well, I've been here, I've had a couple of shows here before, but Rick designed this thing called the Senior Comedy Tour, and it's a group of comedians who are over 50, and we do a clean comedy show, and he just put this in here. I gave when we first started doing it, this is one of the places I said that would probably work out well. We do the small town, well not small town, but you know, small town, special type of venue thing, where people are apt to come to their own town instead of driving to the city.
My name is Otto. Here's my disclaimer. I don't pick on people, I don't complain, and I don't swear. Is that okay with you? Yes. Yes! Okay. My name is Otto. Welcome to my show. I'm really funny, you gotta pay attention though. I'm full of positive molecules. I want people to feel real good. Who's feeling good? If you wanna feel better, you can touch me later in the lobby. I feel real good tonight. Looks like Pee Wee Herman and Buddy Holly had a baby. My show is sponsored and broadcast live on the Math Channel. 81, 9 squared on the FM dial. You can call in with any kind of problem. And I wrote the slogan, "Numbers don't lie, people do." Yeah! Ask any accountant. I'm kind of a weirdo, so if you don't get all the jokes, just hang around for the next one. Things seem small until they're stuck in your eye. I shake a lot. It doesn't look good, but nobody ever asked me to hold their baby. Got me kicked out of eye surgery school. When do I get to try? And owning an Etch-a-Sketch as a kid really sucked. Look what oh, it's blank. Okay. Who remembers their metal shop teacher from high school? Remember that guy? I need 3 of you boys. to help me move this equipment. Then he asked, who knows what quiche is? And I raised my hand real fast and no one else does. And he goes, Nancy. Then he asked me if I could have his shirt. Ladies, I know what you're thinking. Who dipped Otto twice in the sexy butter? Am I right? That's how you're thinking. My buddy's a mind reader, so he taught me some things, you know. That's what I learned. My buddy picked me up, he's a mind reader. He took me over to his other friend's house, also a mind reader. Those guys don't talk much. I'm a well-balanced individual. Alright, here's a song about a guy who took a bet, didn't go off right, okay? We only called him chicken shit once. 2 days later, he took the jump. He built his ramps out of wood. He called Vegas and bet everyone could. Looked like he had plenty of speed. A bit more distance is what he would need. He flipped 10 times and burst into flames. Now a coffee can holds his remains. The funeral was nice, they served us brunch. I guess we shouldn't have called him chicken shit that once. Alright. Here's something I know because I'm really smart. Girls are smarter than guys. Woo! If I was a man, I would agree with that. I'm enthusiastic all the time. Usually it's not a problem, except at the symphony. Nice violin solo, lady! Mayor, what's your name?
Ron.
Ron and I were talking this morning. I asked Ron, do you know what I like more than ass? Nothing. Thank you very much. Every week I go to Mr. Bong's Korean Deli. That's the music playing. Every week I walk in, Mr. Bong says this to me. Hello, Otto! You gonna get the raw man again? Because the chicken lo mein is also good. So I say, yes sir, chicken lo mein. On the way out he says, so, you like a chicken? I'm like, this week the chicken is rubbery. And he says, thank you. You can tell the other people later why that was so funny. Talk about my youth for a bit. I'm 54 years old and 24 years sober. Back in the old days, when I was a kid, we had a mean babysitter. She'd take all 5 of us to Dairy Queen. put us in a booth, get us big giant Mr. Misties, then throw a bunch of money on the table and say, first one to the bottom gets all the cash. Most painful $8 I ever made. My brother Carl, he was the smart sipper. He wouldn't win, but he'd have no headache. When I was in high school, I almost started an apathy club. Yeah, no one showed up. Same babysitter would line us all up for a bath. And I'd say, I want to go first, I want to go first. She'd say, what do you want to go first for? And I said, well, there's 5 of us. I see 1 face cloth, and I know what my daddy washes last. I'm going first. Anybody have that know-it-all niece or nephew that thinks they know everything? Someone does. Nancy, my 9-year-old know-it-all niece, comes up to me at her birthday party and says, hey, Otto, I'm better at guitar than you. I'm better at the internet than you. I get better grades in school than you. So I said, well, sure you do, you little bitch. No, just kidding. But I wanted to. So here's how I got know-it-all Nancy back. I took 46 of her birthday dollars off of her in a heated game of chutes and ladders. Can't beat a guy who's been playing that for 45 years. My 14th birthday, I had a perfect childhood, got everything I wanted, never yelled at or hit, except my 14th birthday. My mom said, Otto, you want some cake? I'm like, sure, it's my birthday. She says, well, what's the magic phrase? And I say, right now, bitch. Yeah, that's the slap that was heard around the world. Every June 20th, it comes out of nowhere. Thanks, Mom. Mom would give me Grandpa's cough medicine to help me go to sleep. Yeah. And then on my first Jim Beam buzz in college, I'm like, wow, this tastes familiar. And I remembered I never heard Grandpa cough. But he was losing his teeth everywhere. Funniest time he lost his teeth, the dog came in the house wearing them, smoking a cat poop cigarette. I'm like, damn, Grandpa, get out the evidence. This one's gonna be tough. Everybody having fun? Woo! Got a couple impressions for you. Everybody likes impressions. Here's my impression of Robert De Niro. Happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. One guy said, man, you look like Buddy Holly, you should do Buddy Holly impression. So if you know who Buddy Holly is, this is spot on. Seriously, Richie, unless the Big Bopper just farted, something's wrong with this plane. Too soon? You guys watch Andy Griffith? All right, we got him for that. Excellent. lovable barber? Floyd! Here's my impression of Mayberry's lovable barber, Floyd. Also, spot on. Andy, I stole Buddy Holly's shirt and shaved off my mustache. Thank you. I forgot to say I got drunk with Otis on some moonshine first. Dang. Who remembers James Brown, Godfather of Soul? All right, here's my impression of James Brown, Godfather of Soul, calling in sick. I don't feel good. Here's my public service announcement. Anybody play the lotto? Yeah? Well, if you win the lotto, people bug you, alright? So here's what I did, and you can do it too. I bet everyone I know $1,000 that I will win the lottery before them. Yeah. And when one of those people wins the lottery, I'm not paying them. You just won the lottery. Defriend me. But if I win the lottery, no one's calling me to bug me because everybody I know owes me $1,000. Anybody have a dog? Yeah! Our dogs are parts of our family, aren't they? Heck yeah! All right, when I walk my dog, I don't carry one of these bags. No, I carry $5. If my dog poops in your yard and you come outside, I'll give you the $5. Call it the good citizen's fee. But if you're mean and grumpy, I'll roll the $5 up and jam it in the poo. If I have a poo stick incident, there's a little kid I know, I call him and give him the address, he runs down to the house. Hey, I'll pick that poo up for the $5. Math channel. Kid's a genius. $5, 30 seconds. That's right, $10 a minute. That's right, $600 an hour. He knows his whole life he's going to have a crappy job. But the one I lined up for him pays a buttload. I got my dog from a small island off the coast of Puerto Rico called Vieques. When I brought my dog back to Indianapolis, she barks in Spanish. All the other dogs in the neighborhood were like, dang, there goes the neighborhood. I kiss my dog. Anybody kiss their dog? Heck yeah! People in my neighborhood started putting salt on the sidewalks because of the winter. I'm like, oh no, that's bad for the dog's feet. So I thought, what can I do? Okay. So I got this stuff called bag balm. You know what that is? For cow udders? Country folks? So I put bag balm on my dog's feet. Worked perfectly. And then I started putting it on everything. You know who's got the softest bag in town? My girlfriend, her coochie purse. Shame on you. You ever seen a dog drag their butts across the carpet? Isn't that hilarious if it's not your house? I have wood floors, I'm safe, but my brother has carpet. And when we go to his house, it looks like the high banks of Daytona. So I'm 8 months into a stage 4 cancer diagnosis, and I'm beating it. I'm using food and vitamins, love and laughter. And my comedy tour is called Humor versus Tumor. With every laugh, a cancer cell dies. So don't let me die up here. You can ask me after the show how I did. That's my feel-good moment, because I'm not even supposed to be here. So I fired the doctors, and here I am. Is there any bikers in the house? Guys up in the corner up here, bikers? Big bikers, they're not afraid of anything, are they? I know what you're afraid of, sir. Buicks. Specifically turning left. They call old people blue hairs, which isn't, it's not bad, but it's not really friendly. Right? You guys like that? My hair. Well, here's a song called Blue Hairs, okay? And it's friendly and it's happy. Blue hairs driving big blue Buicks, going 53 in the fast lane. Blinker's been on since 1970. Bumper sticker says I've seen Rock City. Sometimes Knuckles is all you'll see. Personal plate that says I'm Manny. They're always on the road because they're afraid to fly. Blue hairs and Buicks are all friends of mine. My bobblehead comes out next month, but it's different than most people because the head stays still and the body shakes. I have a time machine. It's almost finished. Waiting for my grandson to come back from the future with the missing parts. When I get my time machine finished, you guys know where I'm going. To where Pebbles Flintstones is 20. Yeah, all I'm going to say is yabba dabba doo. I want to see if she turns out as sexy as Wilma. Thank you. I'm not a good passenger in the car. I'm nervous. I like to be in control. I like to drive because I'm not messed up. So when I'm a passenger, people say, Otto, relax, take it easy. Just sit there, relax. Go to sleep. I'm like, no way. Can't go to sleep with you driving. But when I'm driving, because I'm relaxed. When I'm not a comedian, I'm a superhero. Oh man. Orgasm man. Here's my superpower. When the going gets tough, Otto gets going. People like orgasms, right? Everybody wants to have one once in a while. It's where you have it, it's the key. Kroger, no. I saw a sign recently. It said, psychic fair canceled due to unforeseen circumstances. How can that happen? So I carry a guitar everywhere I go, because if I don't have a guitar, I shake a lot. So one day I went to Gamblers Anonymous, and the guy said, you got a guitar, play the theme song. That's the theme for Gamblers Anonymous. Every day I throw 2 pennies in the trash because I know no one values my opinion. Nobody likes pennies, right? You can get free pennies next to every cash register in America. Right? You can walk in, scoop the pennies up, and walk out, and they'll invite you back for the next week. Come back, there'll be more! So here's what we should do with all the unwanted pennies. We should gather them all together and make copper houses and let the homeless move in. Yeah! Not very funny, but it only costs a few cents. I lived in a very busy corner for a while. A 4-way stop sign. Whenever I wanted to get rid of something, I just put it by the street. Someone would take it. Then people started getting picky. I put a big TV out there, an old TV, and no one would take it. I'm like, wow, how can I get this thing out here? So, I moved it back 10 feet and put a sign on it and said, for sale, $400. That's right. 30 seconds later, someone stole it. I make weird stuff because I'm a strange person. Here's the stuff I sell after the show. I sell my poor man's GPS. It's a little arrow sticks on your dashboard because that's the way you're going. And only an idiot gets lost. If you have to reset it, you just go like this. If you can't see, is everything you eat a blind taste test? You know your teeth are bad when a marshmallow knocks one out. Some guy told me, hey man, you should try one of those 5-hour energy shots. Me? And I said to him, no thank you, because what if 8 minutes in, I think it sucks. Enjoy the next 292 minutes, dumbass! Anybody ever hand you a camera or a phone, say, take my picture? What do? Take your picture. You know what I do? Run off! Thanks for the Nikon! Then I come back and I say, okay, I'll take your picture. So here's what I say to make people smile right before they take their picture. I say, imagine me naked. Click! And their friends get their photo back and they're like, were you guys eating something sour? Alright, I'm going to finish up here. Here's my motto. Otto's motto. Pass it along, make it your own if you want. Be nice to as many people as you can, as often as you can. It's absolutely free. I'll be nice to you, and you be nice to me. And just like tag, you'll start tonight, and tomorrow will be a better world. Thank you very much. I can't tell that in a big city comedy club because someone in the back will yell, not very funny, dumb! But you friendly people, you loved it. And I love it. Alright, I'm on the road all the time doing comedy, and I'm friends with the truckers. And when I was a kid, if you went like this to a trucker, what would they do? Honk their horn. So this is the crowd participation portion of my closer, okay? If you want to do something trucker-like during this song, please do. And please have a good time. And thanks for having me. You guys have been a beautiful audience. I love this place. Thanks for having me, Elwood. This is called the Trucker Song. Thank you very much. When you're on that highway, please be courteous. Please don't make the truckers nervous. They got a real hard job to do, bringing products to me and you. That one's high on crystal meth. He's only got a few teeth left. Wanna be a trucker since he was a kid. Now he's right behind you with some flammable liquid. Knows each run might be his last. See some crazy stuff driving past. The girl in a Honda driving with her knee, singing songs and playing ukulele. Last time. Come on, everybody. So you're on that highway, please be courteous. Don't make the truckers nervous. Try to keep it safe every night, every day, in the best country of all, the USA.
How old were you when you decided to be a comedian?
Well, I probably wanted to be one even when I was like a, mid-teens kind of deal, but I never did it back then. It was probably, I think, college speech class. When you're in college, what is that, about 20?
Yeah.
so I don't have my abacus. I don't know exact math right now. But it's probably about that age that I really want to do that. Then I did it shortly after when the first comedy club opened in Indianapolis.
Is there anything specific that you can remember that actually said, okay, this is what I want to do for my profession?
I think the first time was encouraging enough. The first time I got up on stage, I had the goal, hopefully, that it was going to work well and that I maybe could continue with it, but it kind of gave me the enough feedback that it wasn't something I would like to make a career out of at that point. So, which was kind of fortunate because some people have nightmare stories about the first time I got on stage. I think I just happened to luck out that first night.
What would you say would be your most memorable show you've done?
The most memorable show, and one that's just like live or like a TV on a TV.
Anything. What is your most the one show that pops out to you the most?
That's real hard to just pick one because there's been so many and so many that I enjoyed. I'd say probably from the TV shows it might have been the Arsenio Hall show because that was sort of the first national kind of break, so that one sort of has a special place because of that, and that's been 20-some years ago. So, and as far as like all these shows that I do at theaters or clubs or whatever, I mean, there's so many that for whatever reason are uniquely stand out to me. That I know I'm not answering your question, but that's because I can't. I don't think I could pinpoint just one show.
You mentioned you were on the Arsenio Hall show. What other shows have you done?
Some shows on HBO, and there's, especially back in the early 90s, there were so many comedy shows on TV, and I did quite a few of them. A&E had some on their network, Evening at the Improv, and there was Comedy Central, quite a few on that channel that I did appearances on. But I guess actually when I said the Arsenio Hall show, the first show I did that was nationally broadcast was one of Dick Clark's many late night shows. It was on a Friday night. It was called Nighttime, and that was just right after I moved to Los Angeles. I just kind of sent them a tape from a comedy club, and they booked me from that. So I said Arsenio Hall just because that was like a, you know, prime time kind of whatever. But the Dick Clark was the first break.
Wow, that's awesome.
I'm excited to be here with you tonight. Well, of course, I'm always excited when I get to perform this close to Roma, but I'm excited. Seriously, who else is wearing a sports bra tonight? Who else? Me either. Then you know, isn't this a great location now? Oh my gosh, just right down the street, we've got Papa John's and Bell Bondsman. I think. It is an honor here to be at the Elwood Opera House's first comedy show. First, no, that's not at all. Don't correct me in front of the company again, Rick. That was all. Well, I'm now marginally excited about being here. But thought we were breaking ground. I guess we're not. So anyway, no, it is. It's an honor, and I've had a lot of honors recently. Actually, I had this one of my biggest honors. Not so long ago, I got the honor of entertaining our troops, which Scout Troop 105 over in Alexandria. The boys taught me anything about tying knots. I taught them anything I knew about making margaritas and a little game called blackjack. It's kind of a trade-off. I can't prove it. I think the dead mother was starting to make the moves on me, which who could blame her? She was a stinking drunk, and I had her favorite medicine. But I can't complain. I've got a roof over my head. Just a roof. I'm living in a picnic shelter right now. A lot of unexpected company on the weekends. That's starting to bug me. Everybody wanted to use my picnic table / futon and my hibachi. And unless you want to talk timeshare, get the hell off my property, because I do believe I have squatter rights. I think I'm going to try to learn everybody's name before I get on stage tonight. You think I could do that? Yeah. Crowd this size, you think I can learn all of your names? Yes. Oh, thank you for that confidence. That didn't really sound sincere, but I appreciate it. No, I'm kind of, now this is going to sound like I'm a little full of myself here, but I'm really proud because I would forget people's names to the point where it'd be awkward, because there's somebody you should know their name. So I came up with my own techniques to remember names that are working pretty good. You're welcome to use these, by the way, if you want. And sir, what's your name?
Ron.
Ron, hi Ron, how you doing?
Good.
Good to see you here, Ron, sitting right at the front table, huh, Ron? See, it's a gift. Anyway, see, use the name over and over again. That was my point there. Right? Or you know what? Inspired us more than anything. These neighbors of mine, they told me their names like 3 times within a week, and I couldn't ask them again at that point. It would have just been too embarrassing. So I started going through their mail, and so much more confidence now if I see them out in the yard. Hey, current resident. What are you putting on your lawn, occupant? It sure is plush. Where's that little subscriber of yours? Oh, he's getting so big, let me hold him. I think we're going to bond on this. I have this one neighbor, I bet you know the neighbor I'm talking about, we all have him. All he cares about is his lawn. You know that fussy lawn guy? Yeah, that's kind of annoying, isn't it? Because, he's got a meticulous lawn, that's great. But, there's more important things in life. I'm an animal lover as well. And in fact, I'll go to extremes to defend animals, and I'm going by this fussy lawn guy's yard with my dog. I'm taking him for a nice little stroll. And he was so rude to us, we were just walking by his house. He goes, hey, the other day you're taking that beast. He called my dog a beast. I didn't like that for a walk. And he went, number 2 right here on my beautiful lawn. Which I said, I bet not. I didn't have a comeback, so I said, I bet you're a liar. And then he said, didn't you see my sign? And I'm like, oh yeah, a sign everywhere, a sign. Can't you read the sign? So I stuffed my hair up under my hat and I went in to ask him why. And Hey, what gives you the right to put up a fence and keep all the nature in? So I could challenge this guy. He went to all extremes. He outlined it with chalk like it was a dead body or something. He actually he pulls me over and he goes, see that, and I said, that? I did that. To protect our furry friends, they can't always protect themselves. My dog Cosmo, I owed him big time anyway. He took the blame for me not too long ago with my wife, but he was the one that scooted across the living room carpet, which just a 2-day drunk and I got lazy. But you know what? Tired of winter? You guys tired of winter? Kind of had it, you know. I mean, now I'm doing those things where I can't wait to get back outdoors. So I'm even on a cold night going out and, for example, cooking out. Who else likes to go to town on that grill? Who else? Yeah, me too. I can't even count the times I've caught on fire. But you know, I guess I'm not patient enough. If I've been working on chicken for 40 minutes, it's still pink. I start pouring on the kerosene, and next thing I know, I'm flopping across the yard doing my best Ray Bolger, trying to put myself out with a spatula. There's the neighbor watching the whole thing, pretending like he doesn't see it. Post me down, homeowner. Hey, I was driving the other day. I bet some of you guys have done this. You ever in a big hurry when you're driving? And so it's kind of like a premeditated thought. You see a stoplight coming up, you're already thinking, I don't even care if that light turns yellow. I'm going to take it. Guess what? You can't do that. The person in front of you chooses not to. The big goal, suddenly I'm being sued for being an overachiever. I don't think that's fair. How come the more bumper stickers on a car the slower moving the vehicle is? Have you ever? That doesn't even make sense, does it? It's true. It's true. What does a bumper sticker weigh? What, a 1/16 of an ounce? Yeah, this guy's got 15 on the back of his pickup now. He can't do over 8 miles an hour. And I'm always stuck behind him, you know, always in that deal where it says no passing, you know, so that's single lane, so I'm back there honking. Not because I'm an aggressive driver, Ron, I'm not, but because I too love Jesus. And would rather be sailing, and I'm getting pretty horny on top of it all, so it's triple honk. It's the old trifecta, what I call it. So, you know what, I'm not a tailgater. That is my least favorite driver on the road. Don't you think that's an offensive, because here's what it is. You're not going so slow. Usually that's not the case. That's what a tailgater is there to harass you. You know, I'm usually doing 10 or 15 miles above the speed limit. It doesn't matter. I've got tailgaters all the time. And they're a criminal, is what they are. And here's what you can do to tailgaters, is again, it's my own technique, but I think it's legal. When they won't back off, you just, what I do, I just weave from lane to lane in front of them, just weaving back and forth, you know, bouncing up and down on my seat, talking uncontrollably in my hair, waving my pistol around. They tend to back off when they see your pistol. That's how you handle a tailgater. You guys are really waking me up, which is good. I don't know why. I kind of needed a second wind tonight. I drove all the way in from Carmel, and that's like 18 roundabouts. Tired and a little dizzy. I've still got the spin. Have you been on those roundabouts in Hamilton County? Yeah, you like them? Yeah, I'm starting to finally realize I can't fight it anymore. I didn't really like them at all at first because that's my, I'm from the old Carmel. I go way back. I started first grade there. I mean, back then it wasn't even affluent. That's a really busy Carmel. You don't believe me? Oh, come on! I grew up in the slums of Carmel, where I was raised by my great aunt and her sugar daddy. Don't cry for me. I'm just saying that all the construction for the roundabouts, I didn't walk on them at all. Plus, I've just kind of recently gone on the whole four-way stop thing, so I didn't really think they were going to be for me. And now I can't even function at a regular intersection because I'm too used to the roundabouts. It's thrown me off completely to go other places. Now I approach a four-way stop. I just floor it and close my eyes and hope for the best. concept anymore about that. So when you can't fight something, you might as well make the most of it. That's what I figured. You know, I still live up there, so all these 70 roundabouts, I better get used to that. In fact, now if I'm having a good time on a roundabout, I'll stay on sometimes up to a half an hour. About 40, I'll put my shirt off and howl like a wolf. I really, that's about the only time I do take my shirt off, now I think about it. They added the, well, of course, the yearly physical, and, oh, and if I hear an AC/DC song, then I'm not alone there, huh? What is that? It's a reflex thing. I can't hold it back. Yeah, you see me staggering down the road, you know, wearing a cowboy hat, shooting a firearm up in the air, and, you know, topless. You know, I just heard some, you shook me all night long. That's what you know. So, yeah, giveaway. You guys are great, really. So far, this is the best I've ever done. I was. Oh, you are. You're good. You're a very good group, and a lot of you are coughing. And well, that's that time of year, so I'm not judging. But who's having some? Is there alcohol in here? I didn't check. Okay, there is. I didn't go back to the bar area. Who's having like a beer or some beers or something like that? Yeah, okay. And oh, you know, because I like beer occasionally, I will admit that. In fact, you know how you know when you like beer a little too much? Have you ever had the power go out of your house, and the first thing you think is, my God, my beer's going to be skunked. Right? I've got a couple of young kids running around screaming because it's dark. You know, I should be helping them. All I'm thinking is my PBR is going to be flat now. So you guys, you're very close to building a pyramid on your table. That's good. I wish I had something to give away, because that's going to be good over there. You know, here I'm going to switch the subject before the you know, awkwardness of no noise at all in this room is overwhelming. Sort of a change of subject and sort of not. Sort of more of a confession, I guess. But I feel comfortable with you. I think I can tell you this. You won't you know, spread it around. But I can't get another speeding ticket for 6 months. Have you ever had that cloud hanging over you? Yeah, that's. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think it's called probation. But you know. Yeah, right? What is it? You sign it. It's a deferral, isn't it? That's what it is. Yeah. So in one way, it's good. You try to keep something off your record. In another way, you pretty much now, no matter what the situation, you can't go to the speed limit, even if it's an emergency, right? So you're trapped, is what you are. And I blame myself for the whole thing, because I did get something that should have tipped me off a little bit. I got that after the second speeding ticket. I got a letter from my insurance company. You ever get that letter? That was it's kind of a form letter, but really bossy, very uncalled for, I thought. And it said something like, you know, you get one more ticket, we're not going to represent you. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what it said. So rude, and I just I sent it back to him. I actually sent that back. I scribbled a little note at the bottom. I said, "Ooh, I'm scared." Probation, but you know, I think you know what? I try to use every excuse anybody's ever given me to get out of a speeding ticket. Why not, right? You might as well try it. And they never work for me. Cry, get out of a ticket. You ever get to cry, get out of a ticket? Yeah, it work for you. If you're a guy, they tase you and call you a sissy face. I'll tell you that. Then I got this piece of bad advice. Reflectively, I say that. Some guy goes, well, you know, if it's a really bad, you know, situation, you might want to try to use sex. And that was an awkward, desperate night. Lifting my shirt, you can kiss one of them if you want to. Why do officers feel like they have to suck you into their unnecessary small talk, though? That's what I don't. You know, it's already a very awkward situation when people are driving by and gawking at you. You just kind of want to get the whole miserable experience over, and they like to draw that out. Do you have any idea why I pulled you over? God, did I run over somebody back there? Because I'm just sick about it. Write me out one of your warning tickets. I want to pay my debt to society. Don't try to be funny with a police officer. They have no time for your sense of humor. Oh, so those dudes are really queer. No, Mike Stickert's officer, pretty. So it's going to sound a little selfish now, but I'm not going to drive my mom anywhere anymore. Well, she is capable of driving. She just doesn't like to drive, is what it is. So she knows I'm going some direction, like shopping or something like that's going to be on the way. She'll, kind of hop in and, it's not really a hop, she's 81, but it would be, and then here's the only reason I don't like to drive her somewhere is because you probably maybe have, I don't know, like a loved one that when you're driving, I know I'm the driver, I've got the steering wheel on my side, I think that defines me as a driver. My mom, the passenger, miraculously has her own brake over there. I'm an afterthought evidently because, so when you're doing a fine job driving, you don't need to look over and see if you can see this thing. And, I mean, I'd had it, we had a pretty quick stop coming up, and I thought, I'm gonna let her use her brake. Let's see what you got there, Mama Cena. I believe you have a faulty brake system is what you have. Anybody ever moved back in with their parents when they were too old to be doing that? Anybody, all right, me neither then. On that either. No one in this whole room ever moved back in with their folks? Shoot. Oh, you did, sir. Good, good. Thank you for, I can't even tell if you're just, if this is a pity thing or you really, we're just a little quiet first. What is your name?
John.
John? Yep. Okay, and I know Ron. By the way, I will remember all your names if they all rhyme. Does everybody's name rhyme tonight? That's going to be a shortcut for me. So, we got a Vaughn, step right up. So. John. All right, well, John, so how old were you when you moved back in with your folks?
In my 30s.
In your 30s? Okay, see, this is more bonding than I thought. Are you still living with your folks?
Yep.
John? Okay. I didn't mean to flush out like this. I mean, it would only be fair to me to say that I have moved out now. But it's, yeah, I didn't know if it was going to work out, because I was moving back from California. I just didn't have a place yet, so I ended up being there about 8 or 9 months, I think. And I got to admit, it wasn't that bad at all, because the home-cooked food, back me up there, John, unbelievable.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, every afternoon it was like licking up the Cracker Barrel. About 3:30 in the afternoon, I'd get a whiff of that, I'd run right downstairs and, you guys like the Cracker Barrel? I do too. I was going to say one bad thing about it. In fact, I like to make an event out of it. I like to make an event out of it when I go to the Cracker Barrel because you can. I eat all the fried catfish I possibly can, but then I go out in that little gift shop area. All the Cracker Barrels have a gift shop. And I buy my hard candies. I shop around a little bit, browse if you want to call it, find some cheap stuffed gooseware and mammal clothes and purchase that. And then I go out on the front porch and I just start rocking it. Mammal goose wants to ride again. You should make an event out of this. What my message is there. It's too short. I'm just clicheing all over the place. But anyway, this is so nice. I really, I wasn't sure what to expect. I was even a little intimidated. Opera house, and I will say I've been performing in theaters lately, which is going pretty well, until people start yelling, get out of the way, we can't see Happy Feet too. I used to go to the movies all the time, and then once I had kids, I didn't go so much, and I haven't been to a movie for a while. But whenever I go to a movie, and I'm reminded of being in anything that even reminds me of the theater at all. You ever go? I'm always late. I'll just be honest. I'm always late to get to the theater. So the previews are over. It's very dark, and then you have to find your seat. That's one thing that I don't particularly like. And you can stand out there and wait for the screen to get a little more light. But then when it does, everybody sees you that you've been standing out in the aisle, so I don't like that either. So now what I do is I just take my chances, Like I said, just go for it sometimes. And so I just, even in pitch blackness, I will just pick a row, and inevitably I was sit down with a guy, but he's pretty much cradling me at that point, so I have to make the most of it. Are you my new daddy? I like like to make new friends. I won't. I've got techniques to making new friends. You guys are welcome to use any of this too. Well, it was over the holidays. Shopping downtown, they had a lot of the stores still have the revolving doors. You know, and you could stand like right beside one of those revolving doors and just observe for a while. If you see somebody you kind of like the looks of, just jump right in their compartment with them. Just jump right in there. And if they give you a weird look, which they will, just start mewing like a kitty. If they get out and you're not ready, kitty wants to ride again. I took a pretty bad blow to the head recently. I was on a flight. Has anybody flown in a while? John? Have you flown? It's not fun anymore, is it? They've actually made it more miserable than you can possibly even imagine. It's not just security and all that hassle you go through with that. There's no direct flights anywhere. They cram the flights so full you're not comfortable. And you know, I was on this, and here's how I'm getting to why I hurt myself on the flight. Is because I was having such a horrible time that I didn't even wait when we got to, I didn't wait till we got to the gate. Right when we started to kind of land, and I jumped right out there and was fussing with the overhead compartment because I had, my inner tube was up there. And I take an inner tube with me, you know, wherever I go. You never know when you're going to come across a lazy river. So at that same moment, I looked over at my window seat where I was sitting. I left my favorite jacket. It's a fleece jacket. I don't know how many details you guys want, but anyway, I reached in, forgot I had the overhead compartment open, and because by the way, I will not check in luggage. Are you with me on that? To pay for luggage, that's just robbery. Isn't that $50? I've never done that, I never will. You shouldn't get into that. What I do, I sit in my seat with all of my possessions. I'm like an Egyptian waiting to be buried. So I reach in for my jacket, forget, I hit my head so hard on that overhead compartment. You ever hurt yourself in front of people and you try to act like it didn't happen? Just think maybe nobody saw, I was invisible for a little bit there or something. They heard a thud, they don't know who it happened to. It was going really well. I thought I was going to get away with it. Matter of fact, even though I was about ready to pass out, until this lady yells, "Oh my God, he's bleeding." Cover's blown. So I won't do first class. First of all, I'm just too cheap, I guess, but I won't do the first class thing. Although I always seem to get seated in that row that is as close as you can be to first class, so you get the full humiliation when they pull that drape shut, you know? That leopard curtain that comes shut. Nothing for you to see here. You know, drinking fine wine, eating trout on the bean, playing polo, whatever. So. And unfortunately, my situation couldn't be more reverse than what theirs is. I'm sitting next to a lady with a full beard that won't stop sweating, and I wish I was making it up, but I'm serious. And I felt really bad for her though. She was nervous. She says the first time she'd ever flown, and she'd reach out sometimes and grab my hand, and I wanted to be there for her so bad. But all I could think of is, "Get your filthy paws off me, you dirty snake." Because flying is so miserable, I think what they've done, and you might have witnessed this yourself, is I think they're training all of the crew to make you feel like you're having more fun, you know? You ever on one of those where they're really over-the-top chipper and acting like the pilot wouldn't even shut his mouth on this recent flight I was on. I wanted to sleep, I couldn't. He was giving fun facts nobody cared about. He was like doing his own disc jockey show or something. "Hey everybody, this is your Captain Jerry. We're doing this in partly cloudy skies. We have a very, very pleasant 68 degrees. And it's a 2 for Tuesday, so we had a couple from Bob Seger coming right up. That's right, we're going to be working on some anecdotes in this minute. And first I'd like to introduce my co-pilot, my sidekick, my drinking buddy Bill, who's with me through the duration. Anybody want to fly this thing, by the way? No, I'm kidding around. That's what it's all about. After you had fun and Captain Jerry's cockpit, 17 after the hour, we got a 3 from Led Zeppelin. And a big, big giveaway. First, I'd like to tell you a little fun fact about myself, Captain Jerry. I honestly can't tell you the last time I didn't throw up on takeoff. I've got what they're calling tender stomach, is what it is. I see some of you are struggling with your seat belts. Don't worry about that. Let our flight attendant Holly do that for you. She's got a little bit of a nervous twitch, and you just could get lucky. That's a good tip from Captain Jerry. Couldn't help but notice somebody paid for the in-flight movie. Suckers, $8.50. No, it's It's going to be well worth it tonight. We have a good, actually, flight movie for you. It's called Survive. It's about a rugby team. They crash in the Andes, get the munchies. I don't want to give the whole thing away, but I think you're really going to enjoy the next hour and 52 minutes. I think my favorite part of the film actually is... Wake up, Bill. He's out. Ladies and gentlemen, passengers, I'd like to tell you we just hit some unexpected turbulence. I think we just hit a cow. We were pretty low. Got milk, yeah, we're splattered with it up here in Camp Jerry's cockpit right now. 2 hours later, hey boy, is my face red. It's Camp Jerry again. I just overshot our destination by 150 miles. I get on a laptop, I can't stop. They got some crazy stuff on YouTube, don't they? Double rainbow, that's just cute as heck. You ever on a flight that it's so bad, you think how could it get any worse than it does? For 2 hours and 41 minutes, a baby cried nonstop. Not that I like kids and babies, but it was just one of those. Not that I ran a clock on it, but I did. It's 2 hours and 41 minutes. Nobody was in a good mood then, not even that pilot. All right, passengers, we are currently flying at an altitude of 35,000 feet above sea level. If somebody didn't shut that damn kid up, I'm prepared to take this plane up to 80,000 feet. We're all going to have a little trouble breathing. So you might want to consider some teamwork on this effort. Oh, you guys, who else is from Indiana originally? Been here all their lives. Anybody else pretty much lived out the Hoosier thing, the Hoosier experience? I went to college here too. Not just, it wasn't just my early years there in Carmel. College, Ball State. Anybody go to Ball State? Right here, Mount Rock. How about you, John?
No.
Damn. I'm really going to go around the room there, but Ball State. And maybe you can back me up. This is what always happens to me when our family gets together for anything, because most of the members of my family went to either IU or Purdue, so that's all I hear about. So I always try to one-up them in some way, and I came up with this for Ball State. I said, Ball State has never, ever gone through a dry campus phase, like those other institutions have been playing with, right? I'm not putting Ron on the spot, I'm just saying, anybody I've talked to, I don't care if they graduated last year or like me several years ago, never dry campus phase. My major at Ball State was binge drinking and plagiarism. It was a double major. For my final, I wrote a thing I called the Magna Carta after 5 shots of Jaeger. But so what was your major there, Ron?
Political science.
Political science, okay. Did you stick with that the whole time, or you like me switched around a little bit and tried to find?
I switched.
You switch to? Yeah. See, it's hard not to. Sometimes you don't know at that age if what you're gonna. And also, I was always looking for loopholes. Anyway, I gotta be honest with you. I just kind of was trying to find ways to get out quicker. And somebody told me this when I went to Ball State, because that was actually the 4th school I went to. I didn't say that, did I? Yeah, and I'd like to tell you I have a degree from all these, 4 colleges I went to. But the truth is, I was just my way of trying to get away from some student loans, which does not work because there's nothing more aggressive than a student loan officer. You know that, right? They just keep coming. They won't back off. Oh, God. Sally May could have flushed out Bin Laden. So I'm looking for loopholes. Well, I'm at Ball State. That's my last round of college going, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm thinking, the sooner I get out of here, the better. And somebody told me this. I didn't know this till it was like my junior year. They said, if you had a lot of something in high school, this was some subject you had a lot of in high school, you could take a test and free credits. I don't even know if they ever said free credits, but that's how it translated in my head. If I did well in this Spanish test, I had 4 years of high school Spanish. Then I'd be, and so I took a little Spanish test there at Ball State, and it backfired big time because I passed, barely passed, and then they stuck me in a college level course, which made sense. I was in college, but it was too hard, and on top of it all, somebody had my Spanish name. I know that sounds a little, possessive about my Spanish, but if you grew up and were in a foreign language class, and you got used to another, one name, you wanted that forever. For 4 years at Carmel High School, I was David. How many remember David? No, and then Ball State, no, somebody was already named David. So when it's that situation, the teacher, they don't care about you or your future. They assign you a name at random. For an entire semester, I had to answer to the name Anna. And I don't care how many times I said, me llamo Ana, I never grew comfortable with it. So I always thought that Spanish would come in handy somewhere down the road too. You know, I always kept thinking, boy, that's a lot of Spanish I took. Someday I'm going to put that to use. For example, I went to Tijuana once. You ever been to Tijuana? Yeah, and you would think, hey, this is, as a matter of fact, I actually set myself up for something not too pleasant because I told the friends I was with, I got real braggy. I said, you know, I had 4 years of high school Spanish, a little bit of college, don't go too hard. Now, I think anything that comes up with the locals, I'll be able to handle. But when you're getting script search, a lot of things that are so important that you learn in Spanish won't come back to you. You're distracted, you might say, and trying to conjugate a verb held nothing whatsoever. Blamos, a blar, a blow. Anna doesn't like this. So due to my now aversion to liking anything that has to do with flying, I try to get out whenever I can, and this little trip that I took to Tijuana, different things like that, I try to stay here and support our own state whenever I can. You know, why not? This past summer, matter of fact, I told the kids we were going to go to Disney, and I looked at it, it was way too pricey. So, and I said, well, hop in the car, we can still have fun. A couple drives around the roundabout, and then, you know, the tears, and I hate you, Daddy. And so, so I'll tell you where we ended up. I know you probably heard of this little quaint out-of-the-way place right here in our Hoosier state, Indiana Beach. You ever heard of it? Indiana Beach? Yeah, you ever been? That's the first time that's not a nude beach. I found that out that I should have studied the brochure a little closer. That was very embarrassing, but it won't keep you from going back next year. I had a blast on the Tilt-A-Whirl, and they can't keep you out of Indiana Beach anyway. I mean, you've seen the people in there. They're not banning anyone, so I'll be back next year. Maybe it was just a rough day I went. Could have been a rough day. You know, I don't know. Anybody that went to Indiana Beach, did you seem to think there was kind of a rough-looking crowd that surrounded you? Yeah? For me, I know it was sort of, well, first of all, I saw 5 babies with tattoos. That's a tough crowd. You see 5 tatted toddlers, you know that things could go a little rough. And I know I can't ever prove this, but I think a lot of people were there doing the water rides just to get clean. This beats the heck out of that irrigation ditch. You know, I really got myself a little intimidated tonight when I heard Opera House. You know, I actually did everything I could starting first this week because I thought, well, you know, I'm gonna fit the theme. You know, you're gonna expect probably some opera. I tried to gain like 125 pounds this week. Just like a belch out of, you know, aria that you'd all be proud of. Aria, if I pronounced that correctly? Anyway, I don't know anything about opera, obviously. So it backfired my weight gain attempt. And so basically, I got an additional 6.5 pounds to show for it, and a bad case of the bloats. So that made no sense. But hey, this has got a lot of history here. Did you know that? This opera house? Oh, a lot of history. I don't know if you knew this, that back in the late 60s, Minnie Pearl and Junior Samples did La Traviata right here at the Opera House. Did you know that? A little something like that. I apologize. I am drunk. I haven't had one beer or anything. I swear I'm on dope as when I'm on. I don't do drugs. There's no reason for this. Well, occasionally I'll shoot them a couple meth balls. But if they come in balls, do you shoot them? I don't know what I'm talking about. But I know I'm glad to be here, and I'm not actually. I'm not even close to being done yet. I didn't even take a look at the old. Anybody have sitters or anything that they got to get back for? Anybody got a curfew? I mean, I don't want to scare you, but I really, I'm not going to get off this stage so I get a poison start right in the windpipe. I really, I don't have a place to go, so I'm going to hang out for a while. somebody didn't see what happened there, and so they would actually hear that and think, oh, there must have been somebody, a warm-up guy on the stage saying, come on, give us some applause on that one, you know? Because it did sound like that, didn't it? Just a little bit of delay, and you sure want you to say it. You know, that kind of, yeah. So anyway, you get the hell out. I was, I'm sorry, there's no reason to behave that way. I don't know what's wrong. I'm just gonna mix it up a little here with you guys while I'm talking about our great state here of Indiana. And now you already know that I've lived here most of my life, so this is not me like digging, you know, bad stuff about Indiana. I'm just thinking maybe we'll all agree about some of this. We have some very outdated laws here. I'll just get right to it, don't we? In our state, yeah. I mean, who else knew writing bad checks was illegal in this state? What the? And then, oh, and then we have daylight savings time, finally, but we were the last state, you know, pretty much in the whole Union, not even talking about the Confederacy, to get the daylight savings time. Am I right? Do you like daylight savings time? Are you used to it by now? I'm used to it, actually. I like it fine. Although, it made me want to look up stuff, you know, online and so forth about the history of this. And evidently, we've been trying to get daylight savings time every year for like 30 years. They tried to pass it every year in the legislature, but the lobbyists, or the farmers, God bless them, would say, don't do daylight savings time because it'll confuse the cows. I'm not making that up. It sounds like I'm making that up, but yeah, confuse the cows. Evidently, the cows wouldn't want to be milked in the dark. Which, if that was being done to me, that's the only time I'd want that done. I wouldn't want to see the face of it. So, and it doesn't really matter. It didn't really solve too much for our state anyway, because even though we have daylight savings time, there's still all kinds of confusion because we're not all in the same time zone. We're not even that big of a state area-wise, but we are all in the same time zone. That's really confusing, isn't it? Because I forget. When I have to go do a show somewhere that's in one of the, you know, kind of far pockets of the state, I always have to call because I can't remember. Evansville, I went to Evansville recently. I thought, I think they're central, but I'm not sure. I called, and obviously everybody's confused because the lady that answered the phone at the, it was a casino, she goes, hello, or something like that. And I said, ma'am, I'm sorry to bother you, but I just wanted to ask you real quick, what time zone are you in there? And she said, sir, I don't know what you're talking about. And so I said, well, Eastern or Central? She said, I don't follow, I'm sorry. So I thought, well, I'll tell her what time it is, you know, right up here in Carmel, Indiana. I'll tell her what time I've got, then she can tell me what time she's got, and then we'll have it all resolved, right? So I said, well, I've got 2:17, what time is it there? And she said 1:53, which I'm not making that up. That was a very, very long day in Evansville. No liquor on Sunday? I guess we're going to be still sticking with that after the recent news, right? Yep. And we are the last ones in the country to have that, I'm told. Is that true? Yeah. Does it get in the way for you guys? Yeah. Here's how it gets in the way. And I think this is why they should just, you know, let us be like the rest of the country. You ever out on a Sunday, you go to the grocery just to get your weekly groceries. You know, I've got the bread and the milk and you know, all the necessities going down there, but I forget, and I have a six-pack going down there and stuff. I don't need to be bawled out by that checkout girl in front of everyone ever again. Sir, you can't buy liquor on Sunday in Indiana. Oh, I know. It's just kind of teasing around with you. How about some of that cough syrup then? That's right, the good stuff. Don't you hold it out on me. I'll put a ring over and take a hostage, because it's game day. I'm a desperate man. You just brown bag that with a test DM for Papa, because I got big goals to play. I don't even know what I'm going to say here exactly, except for, well, I'm talking about laws, as the, you know, obviously it's big right now all across the country, the gun laws, you know, and I'm hearing that, and there's people much younger than me, my son's age, for God's sakes, that are big proponents about the gun. I've never had a gun. I don't know if I could. What do you guys have for protection? I have like a baseball bat. Is that? Who else has a bat? Who else is? I'm just curious. You guys are packing heat. Okay, such a dangerous question I just asked. I blame myself right now for making eye contact with anybody, but I really, I've always had this bat, and it crosses my mind the other day, and I thought, you know, I've never used a bat, And I'm wondering if that would even work out for me. You know, I've never had like a, you know, fire drill with the bat or done any kind of rehearsal, dress rehearsal. Is that what but the other night, you know, I almost had, I heard a noise in the house. There was no question about that. So I reached for the bat for the first time ever, thinking this is time now, I'm going to have to use it. And at that very same moment, I thought, I got to go to the bathroom so bad right now. And that's life or death. You have to make a quick decision there, right? And this actually went through my head. I thought, I think I hear him, you know, rummaging downstairs. I bet I got a couple minutes. I can, you know, take care of business real quick. Then I stopped. I didn't go to the restroom at all because I thought, I've got the best weapon I could possibly have. Because if you're a criminal, what are you going to be more frightened by? A Louisville slugger or a naked guy with a full bladder? And if you're accurate, you can burn the corneas out of an unsuspecting criminal. Baseball, I've got my own super soldier here. Yeah, I'm starting to get a read on you guys now. Yeah, no, I know what you like. I think I know what you like. Who else wants to play dodgeball? Is this a dodgeball? No? Remember that in school? That was, did you like dodgeball? Oh my God, I gave myself bad memories actually there. I was always kept at recess, big red blotch on the side of my face. What psychotic came up with dodgeball? I'd like to know. I'd be punch drunk sometimes the rest of the day in class, teachers asking questions. No, I can't tell you the hypotenuse of the triangle. I can't even read the blackboard. This is not a birthmark on the side of my face. I am pretty much in a dodgeball coma. I have nightmares about those early on, you know, whatever you call it, games that you play in school. I had a horrible dream recently. I was playing Red Rover with Louise Jefferson, and one thing you never want to hear is Red Rover sent Wheezy over because my little arm just snapped in two like so many twigs, and I woke up in a flop sweat in my Wheezy dream. Never like that stuff too much, you know? I'm very picky about what recreations and sports I like. I have to be because I'm not that athletically inclined. I've got flat feet, which kind of makes it hard to do certain sports. Plus, when I'm walking down the beach, it's pretty hard to pretend I'm cool and have to wear corrective thongs. That's not big with anybody out there. So I try to find something, you know, that I'm okay at, and I think I know what it is. I'm pretty sure it's skee ball. Anybody else like the skee ball? Huh? Oh, very good. That should be in the Olympics. I don't know if skee ball's in the Olympics, but it should be an Olympic sport because that's me. That's what I do. Huh? I've had like 3 rotator cuffs replaced. That's unbelievable. At the top of my game on the skee ball thing. I don't mean to scare you, but I played with revenge too. You shouldn't play something. You shouldn't play with anger, right? You know, when I'm throwing that skee ball, it's like, I'll show you who's got an overdrawn bank account. And I'll show you who can only do girls push-ups. That's how I play. There's number 4 right there, I think. So. This isn't all the fun we're going to have tonight. Is that what you guys thought? No, I just wondered if you're sitting there thinking, okay, the comedy show, it's probably around 10. That's it. I guess, you know, we'll just have to call it a night. No way. We've got a whole package for you this evening. Matter of fact, while there was the intermission, you guys you know about the intermission that you had, right? I was in the back by the dumpster setting up a bounce house for you guys. So if you'd like to bounce around a little bit, get ready. Got a dunk tank in case there's somebody you don't like so much. You know, you dunk right down in the water. There's a guy on stilts. I hired him. He's back there going nuts. And I might even do a little face painting tonight. I'm not sure if I haven't done a lot of face painting, so I don't have it, you know, really perfected it yet or anything. But sir, have you ever had your face painted? No. Well, you have the perfect cheekbones for it, so I think that I was younger is what I'm saying. So I was always so young. So, well, my big New Year's resolution is a very, one of those New Year's resolutions I think everybody's made once in their life. I mean, it's very cliche, but I wanted to get in better shape and I joined a fitness center. Anybody else ever join a gym of some sort? And I realize now I've joined the wrong gym. You know, I've already put the money out there, but it's not for me. It's not, I don't relate to the people there. It's one of those hoity-toity gyms. Everybody's there to be seen more than get a workout, you know what I mean? They spend hundreds of dollars for outfits you're just going to sweat in. That's nuts, isn't it? I wear what I'm comfortable in. I think we all should. I usually wear like a button-down flannel shirt and a dickie. I usually wear my dickie. And My old prom shoes. I wear my old prom shoes because I feel good about myself in my prom shoes. I never returned them. So, yeah, I mean, one mistake after another. First of all, they offered me a tour, and I said no. I think I'll be fine on my own. And I guess I should have taken the tour because everything I see in there, I don't really understand. I don't really understand a lot of the exercises. You've seen them. There's some of them are like medieval torture devices, some of that novelist stuff. In fact, though, there's a chair-like, you know the chair-like exercise I'm talking about? That I had, it's like well, I call it a chair, you're sitting down when you do it. And then you sit down, and then you spread your legs back and forth like this. What is that good for? What, I'm scared to death if I'm ever fortunate enough to be in the middle of an act of passion, I'm going to have my head snapped right off. I'm curious. I look on the back of this machine to see what it's called, and it's called a beaver chute. I don't know if you knew that. It's a marvelous beaver chute is what it is. So it was written in crayon, but I believe whatever, no matter what color the Crayola. So yeah, and so I didn't take a tour. So now I've been talked into doing things I don't want to do. I mean, there was like this one class. Somebody said, "Oh, you got to do this. It's step aerobics." Step aerobics. Yeah, I don't even have the coordination to do regular aerobics. I don't know why I thought that some sort of stair was involved. This might suddenly work out for me. And I couldn't buy into the false enthusiasm. I lasted for 2.5 days, but this class was cult. They were like a cult, is what they were. That very over-energetic aerobics instructor, we've all seen her, and then about 100 people or so in this class, maybe 103. And they all together, on anything that she cued them on, they responded. Like sheep, basically. You know, how's everybody feel? The whole room, great. One completely out of breath, man down. I pulled a groin in there. The other, not my own. That's going to be a lawsuit. The groin thing. You know, oh, here's the exercise I'm pretty good at, and it sounds really, you know, like I'm bragging about myself. But I finally found something that I feel comfortable with, and it's the Stairmaster. They've been around forever, right? But I'm very good on a Stairmaster. Anybody else? I think it's the name of it makes me feel more sure of myself. Stairmaster. Oh, I'm on the Stairmaster. I pretty much am the mighty Thor at that point. I'm Voltron, defender of the universe. I'm looking down on people up on the Stairmaster. And I achieved the Stairmaster high the other day, which I've never believed in that runner's high thing, but something, when I was on the Stairmaster, some chemical kicked in because I was higher than a kite before I knew it. And to the point I thought the lady on the next Stairmaster was checking me out, which I'm sure she wasn't, but I thought, oh, I bet she's digging the dicky. And, then well, this is what happened, is I shouldn't make conversation. I didn't really have anything to say. You ever like that? You think there's something in my head, but there's somebody here, maybe I'll start talking. Never a good thing. First thing that popped out of my mouth is something I never said before in my life. I saw her kind of looking and I said, hey, you keep on trucking, which she said, who the hell are you? I said, I'm your boogeyman, that's who I am. Then I treated her to a perfect dismount. I don't know if this was a dismount on the Stairmaster or not, but it was perfect. It would have been perfect. I remember that guy doing push-ups. Guy, slippery back. But that's when she said the worst thing she could say, because I was feeling self-conscious. That she goes, you know, you really, you look pathetic. And so I gotta go poop. I panicked. I couldn't think of anything else on short notice. So you're not going to make new friends if you say I gotta go poop. So. I can't even go in the men's locker room anymore. That's not right. When you pay a lot of money, monthly fee for a gym, and you don't even feel like you can go in there. Because I'll tell you why I won't go in there again. One day I saw the hairiest person I've ever seen in my life. Have you ever seen somebody so hairy you don't know if you're looking at the front or the back of them? Oh my God, there's a timber wolf in the locker room. Somebody give me I'll kill a hairy beast and resemble a timber wolf. I'll be the Buford Pusser of valleys. That's completely against the grain of being an animal lover, which I am, but there's no species of wolf that should be wearing sweat socks and a jock. I really am an animal lover. I wasn't just saying that, you know, to make Rick and Holly like me more. Because Rick mentioned that, and I think that to the point, I can't really even watch those wildlife type nature documentaries on TV anymore. Because it's beautiful to see them out there, in their habitats and all that. But then something always comes out of nowhere that really disturbs me. Like there was one the other day, I couldn't get it turned off quick enough. And what it was a pack of coyote, and they were working on a carcass while this wolf, in fact, was watching them. And then they kind of had all their fill except this one coyote. And he just kept going and going, on the carcass. So that's when the wolf, of course, comes out, just one coyote now, and the wolf broke his neck. Which we're so much alike, humans and animals. That's the same thing that happened to my Aunt Vera when she overserved herself in an old country buffet. I was a restaurant manager with some pretty strict rules, but anyway, I think I'm not moving around well tonight. I thought I was going to be up here just using the whole stage, and sorry, my neck's stiff. I don't mean to complain and whine you guys, but I was thinking about my drive here. Because I came, by the way, if you care, 37, and then, 146th Street to 37, and then 13. And there's a beautiful drive, there's so much to see. But about the time I got halfway down 37, about 10 miles or so, I thought, man, and I know why now. I started thinking about why am I so sore? My son, and I don't want to blame him. I love kids. Not in the Neverland kind of way, but my son, here's the backstory a little bit is with this kind of job, I travel quite a bit. So when I'm gone for a while and I get home, I try to make up for lost time with the kids, right? Try to be the best dad ever. And so earlier this week, I gave nonstop piggyback rides. And he's 19, he's a big boy. He is slowly killing his daddy, and how many parents do we have here by applause tonight at the okay. So you know how great it is being a parent, and there's so many loopholes, right? But not that that's why I got into it. You got to take advantage of the loopholes. I found this out, and my serious ages for my kids, 14 is my oldest, and I've got a 9-year-old daughter. There's no better bargain, I should say, than going to the school cafeteria and having lunch with your son or daughter. If you ever get a chance to do that, she's in 3rd grade, I had lunch with her the other day, and for $2.35, I got sloppy Joe, tater tots, a fruit cup, chocolate milk, and a big chocolate chip cookie. And I showed up 4 days in a row. I actually turned it in my own personal soup kitchen at that point, and then recess, when I hung out, why not? And if you've been on a playground as an adult, it's so relaxing. I did not, find your favorite, mine's some monkey bars. Oh, I'm going to town on those monkey bars. I completely forgot I've got an overdue mortgage. Sometimes I think the kids teach me more than I teach them. You ever think that about the kids? Because my son, who's the teenager, plays quite a bit of Xbox, and even though I don't know a lot about Xbox, I still want to know everything my kids are doing and try to, kind of in some way, be connected with them. And so he's on the Xbox the other day, and I heard something I hadn't heard before. I've heard a little bit of the lingo, but he goes, "Hey Dad, you got to help me. I've got the red ring of death." Which that means a computer crash, basically thing. The Xbox is right. If you've got young teenage kids, you know this. Before I thought it was just something you got from sitting on the toilet too long. You have to pack that up and send it back to Best Buy for a repair. So I'm going to give you guys a few tips, or maybe things you've already experienced. But never buy your kids a pet until they're old enough to take care of themselves. Because you basically bought yourself a pet there, didn't you? Yeah. My son's 14. He can't drive to get his crickets for his exotic. He likes the bearded dragons and the tree frogs. So I have to I'm the guy every Wednesday that has to go to PetSmart. By the way, is it PetSmart or PetSmart? Hear this like I've gotten a couple of fist fights over this. So if you can help me along with how to say it. I'm there every Wednesday. I should learn how to say it right. But I found the employees at the PetSmart must be the most bored people in the world, because they say the same thing to me every time I'm going through the line on Wednesdays with my bag of crickets. You know, I'm a familiar face because I'm the same PetSmart, and they're familiar, so I would think they'd have something else to say. They don't have anything to offer but this. Every time I go through the line with my crickets, what you feeding? A miniature donkey is what we're feeding. Thanks a lot for your, what you feeding? We have an Asian water buffalo in our basement. You'd think they like little crickets. What you feeding? Mama's got a tapeworm. Anybody here ever tried to put a Hot Wheels track together for your kids? Yeah. Is there anything more frustrating? Because they don't go together. You realize that. You've seen them on the box. They seem like they went together, but they've actually somehow come up with all these pieces of plastic that no matter how hard you're jabbing, they won't be out. And somebody in Taiwan having a big laugh, but there's no reason that on Christmas Eve at 3 a.m. we should have to be up struggling with this, right? Sobbing uncontrollably, cussing nonstop, throwing little tiny cards into the wall. It's supposed to be a happy time. I think it's why I got a vasectomy, because I love kids. I just didn't want to put together any more of those Hot Wheels tracks, and that seemed to be it out. So, any other guys here been through that procedure before I continue with the explanation of the, okay, me neither then. I'm not either, I guess. This could be more awkward. But I was just going to tell you, it's the weirdest thing I've ever been put through, because I don't think I knew what I was signing up for exactly. And they lied to you so much. You know, we get lied to a lot, you know that. Through any kind of, a lot of times the medical folks, they don't tell you everything. Or mislead you. This is what they told me. They said, well, this won't be a bad procedure for you. It's very private, first of all. We'll give you a cover-up, which I think was a Dairy Queen napkin. Pretty sure that's a little more stain, all right. So, and then, this is the weird, well, it's a lie, but it's also very weird, I think, that they do this repeatedly. They said the doctor will be right in. Has the doctor ever come right in? No. I'm completely disrobed. 40 minutes makes my mind work and think of all these horrible, matter of fact, my pants were draped over a chair that I could almost reach but not quite. I've never longed for my pants that much in my life. Before, there was something to cover my legs. Now I realize we had so much more. When the doctor finally, comes in, saunters in, I guess you'd call it, things happen that I just never thought would happen to me in my life. There's a couple that I was thinking might happen, like I was poked. I thought, yeah, there might be some poking. There was pinched, I was pinched, prodded, twisted, stabbed. There was a stabbing feeling occasionally, and burnt. That was a big surprise of all. There was burning, there was smoke everywhere. There was smoke down there. Like the doctor must have brought his Bunsen burner in. I don't know. I was like, God, this is the worst weenie roast I've ever been to in my life. Here's another one of those kind of sacrifices to having kids. My wife and I just now finally recently started seeing movies for grown-ups. We went through that phase where everything was about the kids, the Disney and DreamWorks and all that. So we didn't see a lot, the movies the adults were seeing. And but by the way, I found this out even before I had my own kids. I did a little research. You can't count on all the Disney movies to be for every age kid. You kind of have to pick and choose, right? In the old days, they were all general audiences, and the kids loved every single one of them. And I knew this right, my own kids. I took my nephew, who was about 5 at the time, I think, to see Pocahontas. You guys ever see that one? Pocahontas? Back in the 90s? Yeah, there was nothing there for a 5-year-old to enjoy. He could care less. He got all hopped up in gummy bears. He's running up and down the aisle, roll tackling elderly women. I was focused because you got to admit, Pocahontas, she's hot. She's Fox. Okay, maybe I was having a slow summer, but there's some scenes I still can't get out of my mind. If you saw it, maybe you remember. She was in the woods. Pocahontas was in the woods. I remember this. She was sneaking up on something. She was on all fours, and I'm watching, and I'm thinking, me likey, which I thought I said to myself. Evidently, I said it out loud. I was asked to leave the theater, and little nephew was all hopped up on gummy bears. His Uncle Dave evidently all hopped up on animated cleavage, but. Yeah, we about had our fill of the holidays this year. They just keep coming, don't they? Oh, Oh yeah, they're not over after the first of the year, as we all know. It was just a few weeks ago, earlier this month. It was Groundhog's Day, right? Groundhog's Day. We like now. I was thinking, gosh, I didn't even need to take down my Martin Luther King Day decorations yet. Thought that would play a little better now, would anyway. This is something I think I can probably share with you guys. I got my kids to take the flu shot this year for the first time. You ever? Did you guys get the flu shot, by the way? Yeah. And they don't like that. You know, they don't like to be forced to do that. They were kind of mad at me for a while. And but I thought, you know, this is what I'm hearing is a good thing to do. And I took them to. Oh, by the way, I didn't take us to the regular doctor. Because, you know, once the economy got bad, I started price checking everything, including the flu shot. Yeah, my doctor, he had his price. I found out I could get it $7 cheaper for each flu shot down at the neighborhood grocery store. You ever get one of those grocery store flu shots? I don't even know who administered that shot. I think it might have been the butcher. I had a lot of side effects for a while. I think I had mad cow's disease, quite honestly. I was bossy. I was lactating. I had chafed teats. I was headbutting anyone who sassed me. And I am just talking about the regular old flu. I'm not talking about that one that I think was made up. I still think this H1N1 scare from a couple years ago, I think that sounds like a made up thing, doesn't it? H1N1? Sounds like some lovable Star Wars character or something. H1N1, R2D2, OBGYN. So, and another thing, I used to get all my prescriptions at CVS. Am I pronouncing that correctly? And then I thought that they were getting too pricey. So again, I'm trying to find, so now I've been buying all mine on the street. Yo, you got something for acid reflux dome? So, Snoop Doggy Dugan got some generic Prilosec just the other day. Trying to put a feather in my home cap, but yeah, you know, I think the whole medical deal is just drives me nuts sometimes, you know, and I'm not even really being overly critical here, but my nurse, for example, when she gives me a shot, she feels like she has to describe the sensations I'm going to feel when I get the shot. Isn't that unnecessary small talk? I'm always just thinking, just shoot me up. I don't really want, you know, have a shot, I know what's going to happen. Nope, she has to do all this. First it's going to sting, and then it's going to burn. So I poked her in the eyes and slapped her. I said, so's this. Tough love, but she was about to hurt me. So, not that I'm afraid of needles. I'm a blood donor, actually. I don't. Did you mention that in my introduction, Rick? Because they'd like me a lot more if they knew I donated blood every 57 days. You know, does anybody else do the donating of blood kind of thing? Good. See, it's a good thing to do. Although now, this is going to make me sound bad, I don't know if I'm going to go back for a while because there's just so much paperwork. I don't think that's necessary when you're doing, you know, something that's kind of for a good cause there, that you also have to do a questionnaire that's over 100 questions now, by the way, about 110 questions. So I tried to reason with them last time I went in. I went to the same blood donation center and I said, hey, instead of me doing the questionnaire again that I just did less than 2 months ago, how about this? I'll let you know if anything changes in my life. If I get involved in a male prostitution ring, or start doing the horse, you'll get a memo. No, they wouldn't have that. They sat me right down and asked every question as if they'd never seen me before. The nurse, that was so tedious. About question 75, I thought, I'm going to shake it up. That's what I thought. Question 75, I remember she goes, have you ever paid for sex? And I said, are you coming on to me? She did not find funny, and I don't think she tried to find a vein. Well, you guys have been really nice group tonight, and I've really enjoyed being here with you, and I'm hoping that all of you maybe will stay seated long enough for me to take the elevator ride first. That's not too much to ask, but no, I I was going to tell you why I really honestly, I think I have this neck pain is because I'm right now involved smack dab in the middle of physical therapy. We've all been to physical therapy at least once in our life, haven't we? I've decided that's more torturous than the injury that got you there in the first place, right? The thing they put you through, some of it's like borderline voodoo. I mean, tell me this isn't a weird one, but I'm sure some people, if you've been there, probably had the same thing. The other day, they ran electricity through my body. Yeah, they wrapped something around electrical stimulation. That's what they called it. They put a big pad around electrical stimulation. And it sounded scary. I didn't want any part of it. And then after it started, it was just kind of tingly. You know, it really wasn't as big a deal as I thought it was going to be. Boring, though, very boring. In fact, the therapist left almost immediately. She was obviously bored, didn't want any part of it. So one of those deals where, you know, I'm trying to entertain myself, and after a while I thought, I wonder how much of this juice I can take. I started experimenting a little bit. I mean, I was, you know, gosh, I mean, come on, I didn't do it right away. I was like stupid. I remember I went to 4 colleges. But I did it slowly, and then after about 15 minutes or so, I cranked the knob about halfway at that point, and I wasn't feeling anything more at all. And I looked next to me, and the lady on the next bed was flopping like a fish. So, you guys, thanks very much for being here for the comedy night. Have a great day.
Dave Dugan, ladies and gentlemen. Have you enjoyed comedy night at the Opera House tonight? Would you like to see it happen again sometime? We will make it happen. Give it up for Otto one more time. My buddy Dave Dugan. And I'm Rick Garrett. Good night, everybody. Drive safe. Thank you so much.